Now here's a side of California you don't see very often. We're back in my home state, although nowhere near my home. I'm sorry I had to disappear there for a few days after coming back home to attend to some personal business I may or may not share with you by the end of this video. We'll see. We'll see. But look at this. It's old Mission Santa Ynez, founded in 1804 by the Spanish, and still in continuous use ever since then as a Catholic church. One of those old original California missions that all of us kids that grew up in California had to do school projects on. And if we're looking at old Mission Santa Ynez, that means we're in the little Danish town of Solvang, one of the weirdest towns in California. Yeah, gladly all. I haven't been in Solvang in quite a while, and I forgot that this mission is not a state park or a historic monument. It's a working church, so you have to line up to get tours of the inside. You can't just walk in. However, it is a beautiful little tranquil spot, and there is an old mission gift shop right here. However, it is a beautiful, tranquil spot to visit of a morning after I've just consumed my morning coffee. And look at this, they got the old mission gift shop right here. Man, even the gift shop has some marvelous history on the walls. Ooh, I keep meaning to read that book right there. Like I said, I came here on personal business up the coast of sort of Central California, not to purposefully visit Solvang or do a video here, but since I ended up spending the night here last night, it seemed like, you know what, why not get up, walk around, and have a little adventure. Oh, and I forgot, I'm not quite alone, because here comes the sun. Look it, it's Allie. What'd you get, postcards?
Yes, I got 2.
I was going to show the gift shop more, but it was pretty crowded in there, pretty busy of a Monday morning. Obviously, California first settled by the Spanish. This area around Santa Ynez Mission, first settled by the Spanish in 1804. They named it Santiago, which in German, oh wait, no, wrong place. Then of course later, Danish immigrants came here and named it Solvang, which means sunfield or sunny fields. Not so sunny today, but look at how beautiful those fields are. Now it's sort of wine country, California wine country, so there's a lot of wine tasting and little Danish souvenirs. We'll see some of those in just one second. But first, look at this little garden area over here. I don't remember this being here before. El Calvario. And there's little crosses and stations of the cross in here. In a very beautiful setting. I mean, it doesn't get much more beautiful than that view right there. Oh yeah, see these little paintings? Stations of the Cross with some, it's a weird mix of beautiful and kind of peaceful and prayerful and contemplative out here, as it should be at a church. And then also a little bit graphic here. However, that is the point of the story. There are multiple woodpeckers along this path. I don't know, we have to zoom in past maximum zoom in capability here. Might be a little pixelated, but those are 2 woodpeckers just chilling. They paused in the act. Busted. I see what you're up to. And look at this. Right behind one of the crosses up on that pole. A dove. A sign of peace. It is so pretty out here. This is actually a nice, peaceful way to start my morning. I just had my vanilla latte, my hot vanilla latte, in remembrance of my good friend Adam the Woo. I had a piping hot, caffeinated beverage. Allie got a cold toasted marshmallow latte. She did not like it, so she's still grumpy. She didn't have her caffeine the way she should have had it. This is what happens whenever we go to those hipster coffee shops. You're like, it has good reviews, and they're never good.
No.
Never good. Oh, well, here's the way of resurrection. The open fields of Solvang. I do not mean this in a sacrilegious way, but we're out here in this little garden, and dude, the Lord looks pretty ripped in this statue right here. I mean, man, I do not look like that without my shirt on. Wow. This is really cute. There's several little paths over here. This is awesome. We're literally back to back. The back of the mission property backs up onto the sort of main drag of Solvang, and I don't remember these little gardens being here, but every time I come here from now on, if I wake up in Solvang, I'm going to take a little walk. Most of the California missions, for those of you who are unfamiliar, are, or were at one point, abandoned after, you know, Mexican independence from Spain, and then being taken over by the United States. A lot of the missions were secularized. Their property was taken as first Spanish and then Mexican, and then later American immigrants came along. And so most of them are in a pretty derelict state or a state of slight restoration, but a lot of the original stuff is missing. It's really cool when one has been in continuous use and maintained like this. We've seen many families going to and fro, just doing regular Monday church stuff out here. Huh? Another statue, gorgeous. Obviously these places were built with the help of the Native Americans that the Spanish came to convert. So a little nod to Native American and Spanish and Mexican Californian history before we jump in to the Danes. Yeah! Look at this, watch this transition. Old Spanish mission, bam! Straight out to Solvang. They are literally back to back. Personally, I think Solvang might be the weirdest town in California because of course it was settled by Danish immigrants who came to plow the fields and prosper here in the United States in California, and prosper they did. But of course, because of their Danish architecture, especially in the 1950s, they sort of transformed Solvang into the ultimate tourist town, right? Look at this, you have all the kings going from Gorm the Old all the way down to Christopher II, Olaf, Christian IV, Christian VIII, Frederick IX, Her Majesty Queen Margaretha, the 72 lady. They had to add a little bit to the sign here, because now you got Frederick X. Anyway, they went full tourist with Solvang, as you can see out here with the Danish architecture, so many gift shops and restaurants and wonderful things, many bakeries. And yet, as dependent on tourism as this town is, it's not all that tourist friendly when it comes to cameras or selfies, especially inside of stores. So it's always a challenge being able to show you the inside of anything in Solvang because they get a little temperamental about cameras still. On the surface, it looks like Danish Disneyland. Come one, come all, enjoy the hokey tourist stuff. And yet Solvang is this weird mix of fairy tale architecture and novelty sock stores and candy shops and other tourist things with fine art galleries, wine tasting rooms, Michelin star rated restaurants. It is just the weirdest town ever. It has many different identities. Like, look at this. We are steps away from the big tower and the big windmill, and here's the Wishing Well restaurant with a beautiful carved wishing well and a clown. A clown! Got your Solvang penny press right in front of the ice cream shop where they have free ice cream tasting, and then there's the tattoo shop up here. The skate shop, they've got a vinyl shop up there and a vintage store. But then you'll have like bougie little coffee shops and acai bowls and art galleries and stained glass and, as previously mentioned, wine everywhere. Been a while since we've been to Solvang. The last time we were here was Christmas time a couple of years ago. Dude, and unlike today, during Christmas time when they got all the Christmas lights up and stuff, Solvang is popping. It gets crazy busy like Easter time, Christmas time, summer holidays, summer weekends. Funny part is when we were here last time for Christmas, it was like at 7 p.m., everything closes. They roll up the sidewalk. We got here last night like right before sunset, and everything in town pretty much was closed. It was amazing. I mean, it was a Sunday evening. Look at this. You got the giant windmill here on what I sort of consider the main drag, Alisal Way, I think. I don't know how to pronounce it in Danish, but here again, you see you have the Tower Pizza behind this place. You have the Cafe and Gelato in the front. Mexican food place right next door. So it's just a crazy mix of everything. And yet, inside the old mill, there are plenty of Danish souvenirs, German souvenirs. There's little information about Solvang history. You can buy some outfits to blend in with the locals. Just weird and strange. And I love it. I always think about the Spanish that came and started the mission in 1804. What would they have thought if they knew that just a little over 100 years later, this place would be taken over by Danish Protestants coming over from the old world to the new, and peppering the sunny fields of what would become Solvang with things like this rabbit just working away at that rolling pin forever. Oh no, the rabbit got you, huh?
Yeah.
The rabbit in the window. What'd you get? Cookies. Oh no, there's gluten-free cookies. Solvang is catching on to my needs. Look at this gingerbread house in here. They have some ready-made gingerbread houses ready to rock. Maybe some of them have been redecorated for Valentine's Day. You can get a Valentine's Day gingerbread house, Allie. Oh, love is in the air. I just love this. This is not the only window display of its kind in Solvang. Look at that rabbit work. Working all day. Got to make those gingerbread houses. Valentine's Day isn't going to supply itself. Everything's so pink and cute here. This looks like the kind of place that I would love to take my Nana. Like Nana would just love this. Take her to a little bakery, maybe get her some tea somewhere. You know there's high tea somewhere in Solvang. Okay, this is the tower I was referring to. Right back here, if you've never seen any other videos about Solvang. This is a replica of the Rundetarn round tower in Copenhagen, Denmark. But here in Solvang, it's tower pizza. You can grab your pizza, eat it in the base of the tower, and look out the back windows at the wall of the old mission. Of course, the Danish people were descendants of Vikings, so there are a lot of Viking souvenirs in town as well. Oh yeah, look at all the Viking stuff. You in the market for a new axe? Yeah. A lot of steins and wooden shoes. German looking teddy bears. There are a lot of German gifts peppered in Solvang, by the way. Nice little shop. Yeah, they've got some plush ostriches in here, and if you stick around long enough in this video, I can almost guarantee you're gonna see a live ostrich. That's gotta be worth sticking around for, right? Live ostrich! Don't worry, if windmills are your thing, but you're sick of big windmills, they've got windmills of other sizes as well. Every size you can possibly imagine, from the fridge magnet to the alley-sized windmill and more. This windmill is sitting right in front of a tiki lounge, the High Roller Tiki Lounge, which is obviously not open in the morning like this, but we have been inside of here before. Don't worry, you wine snobs, this tiki lounge is equipped with plenty of wine. Oh, look at this old Danish food farm. Ice cream and hot dogs, the traditional Danish food supply. A lot of pretzels in town as well. More fudge than it should be legal to pack into any town. Not to mention 1 billion cookies. Mainly what I like when I come to Solvang is just walking around and looking at the architecture. It's like walking through Fantasyland at Disneyland. It's sort of California's real-life Fantasyland. There are a few other similarly themed towns in California, like Westminster, California, and Orange County. It's supposed to be all Old English themed. It didn't really work. There's Kingsburg and some other places, but nothing on this level. I mean, Copenhagen Drive right here that we're standing on right now, which is really sort of the main street of Solvang, it's just unlike anywhere else but Fantasyland. I mean, gee willikers, look at the architecture of the building next door to G. Willikers. That is absolutely beautiful. The wood shingled roof, the brickwork, if that's actual brickwork, man, that is fantastic. I love the wood shingled sort of porch or awning or whatever you want to call it here, with real ivy growing up the side. This is Edelweiss, sterling silver jewelry, quartz watches, gifts, and accessories. Lots of little gnomes in the windows. Easter bunnies are starting to appear. My first Solvang video on Random Land was done, I can't remember if it was 2013 or 2014, but I was here with my friend Tyler Evans, who we just saw on our Vision Quest back from Florida after Adam's funeral. Tyler Evans was here with me on Easter Sunday, I believe, and we were walking down this very street. We saw Jason Segel here, and he looked at us like, oh no, I've been spotted. And we were just like, love your stuff, man. Kept on cruising, kept it cool. You're welcome, Jason Segel. You owe me one. Okay, Allie and I came here just a couple of years ago for Christmas time, like I mentioned. And usually we always try to get Allie some Danish food. Last time she had some really good Danish meatballs. They were called like the frikadeller or something like that. And so she is looking around here. Oh, you found the frikadeller. The frikadeller's right there. She's looking around at all the different restaurants. She's going to try every frikadeller in town eventually. Obviously, I can't keep track of everywhere we bought food from in Solvang in the past. So we may have bought a pastry or something from here, but I don't think we've ever gotten food at the Red Viking restaurant. So why not get some frikadeller for breakfast?
Ja, frikadeller. It does a body good.
Oh, it's cute in here. Ooh. Look at that axe. If those are the kind of awards they give you in this town, I want to earn an award. Dude, even though I really can't eat anything in this particular restaurant, I have celiac disease. I got some weird food allergy situations. I love places like this. Very mid-century. And look at that. I mean, classic roadside restaurant. Great murals. Great placemats with the history of Solvang all over them. Danish paintings on the wall. Look at the little beer hut here. It's great. All right, she got it. The frikadeller. you got your freaking food. What the frick? All right, while Allie is enjoying her meatballs, really quick, I wanted to step outside because there were some pictures on the walls of the Red Viking restaurant that show you that Solvang wasn't always so Danish themed in terms of architecture. In fact, there's a great photo in there from the late 1940s taken just down here, sort of roughly like this from this first intersection down old Copenhagen Drive right here, and you can definitely see that the buildings were nothing like they are today. In fact, that building at the very far end of the photo was, according to the little sign in there, the first of the Danish architecture projects in town, the Copenhagen Square project. That was completed in 1947, so that is when this town started to transform itself from any other Central California farming town into this. That's when they renamed most of the streets in town from like Spanish names to Danish names. Look at this. That's also when they renamed most of the streets in town from Spanish names to Danish names. By the way, it wouldn't be Solvang if we didn't stop to see the giant red wooden shoe in front of the Solvang shoe store, which does in fact sell wooden shoes. Look at this, boba tea and smoothies. You got the little rainbow foot spa, so you can treat your dogs nice here. The Belgian cafe, past that. I like how the little rainbow foot spa, we have old Danish architecture without, but much more of an Asian flavor inside. Look at that. That is cool. The Belgian cafe is apparently a very good breakfast spot. Good to know for next time, so Allie isn't eating meatballs for breakfast. You've got Elna's dress shop over here with Danish costumes and ladies wear. These fellas aren't buying ladies wear today. They were just window shopping. I love how some of the Danish wear, though, in the window says proudly made in America. So it's American Danish wear. You got chocolates next door. You got just everything. Back across the street where Allie is wrapping up eating her meatballs. You remember I said there's more than one window in town with some animated fun going on? Well, right next door where Allie's enjoying her meatballs, check this out, the Danish Mill Bakery and Coffee Shop. We're down here in the windows in front of all those Danish baked goods. You got the little Danish pastry chefs going crazy in the window, preparing all those delectable baked goods inside. I don't know what these tools and implements they're using are called, besides the old classic rolling pin in there. This guy looks like he's holding one of those little frosting things. The other guy's just holding a bag. Is that supposed to be dough? Maybe he's kneading his dough. But Arvid Peterson, the Danish Mill Bakery founder, is sitting here nodding with approval, looking at his giant baguette over here, which I think originally belonged in his hand. And look at this. He even approves of this mouse over here in the window who is bowing to all the potential customers. Even the plush are put to work in Solvang. Wait a minute, is that a mouse? Or is that some kind of weird koala bear? Oh, of course, the traditional Danish koala. I love the architecture. Beautiful inside the Danish Mill Bakery and Coffee Shop. Also beautiful outside. You got the stork up there on the crown of the roof. I love the little ironwork out here. It's all very mid-century and not so much medieval. That just gives it an extra something, right? Just a little extra something. It's also nice to know that they started working on all these Danish-looking buildings before Disneyland even got started. So this is almost like Southern California's original Fantasyland. Got the iron art gift shop over here with cuckoo clocks in the windows and the special red plate. Apparently that's a Danish tradition. So on your birthday, you can use a special red plate. And look it reminds you that you're special today. Oh, they have a red mug as well. Got all kinds of Christmas figures here, sort of Russian nesting dolls. I always like the cuckoo clocks the most, but they're so pricey, especially for ones that look really ornate and really fancy and traditional. Having like a real hand-carved German wooden cuckoo clock from Bavaria or the Black Forest or something would be so cool. You know, if I win the lottery one day, I won't tell anyone, but there will be signs. That'll be one of them. My cuckoo clock collection. Now, let's face it, if I won the lottery, I'd probably tell someone. The word would get out. It's hard for me to keep those kind of secrets. You know, last time we were here, we were trying to get a famous Danish dish called æbleskiver. They're sort of like pancake balls with sort of strawberry or some kind of berry syrup on them. Not for me, for Allie. And this one right here, Solvang Restaurant, home of Arnie's famous æbleskiver, had a freaking line all the way down the block. The Danish Mill Bakery back here had a line going that way down the block. We stood in one or the other of those lines and got in. They're like, oh, we're all out of Able-Skeevers. So everywhere we went, they were like, oh, we're out of it, sold out. But last night, there was one place that was open, and Allie did finally have Able-Skeever. How was it?
It was good. I liked it.
Able-Skeever! These guys like it too. They made it, in fact, with the help of their koala. Koala!
It's a mouse.
How would you know?
Look at it. It's a mouse.
Takes one to know one. Oh no, Allie might be in the market for more Able-Skeever now because she just realized she didn't get Arnie's famous Able-Skeever last night. Looks pretty cool inside of there. But look at this. They sell Able-Skeever making pans.
And mix.
And mix. You can mix up your own Able-Skeever at home. There it is, there it is, look. The raw Able-Skeevers, pre-adorned with their sauce and powdered sugar.
Yeah, mine were like small.
Yeah, these are big ones. Arnie's got the big old Able-Skeever balls. That's why he's so famous. Got the only in Solvang gifts. Makes sense why they're only sold in Solvang. I mean, I don't know why you'd sell those in Los Angeles. And I told you there would be novelty socks galore. Look at the Finn and Jake sock right there. You wouldn't wear those though. You'd be like, oh, cute, and buy them, but you would never wear them. Dog alert. Oh, cute dogs. Look at them puppies. Solvang Toyland, parts unknown, a fashion adventure. For me, a fashion adventure would be having any kind of fashion at all. I was just thinking to myself, I wanted to show some Solvang construction that's going on. Something very exciting and new is coming to this place. But look at this, look what we've run across. Some Solvang destruction. This old hotel or building back here looks like it suffered some kind of serious fire. We've been to this place. There was a water wheel on the corner. I can't remember if it was a shop. I can't remember if it was just shops or shops and a hotel and offices or whatever. But clearly they had a fire. That doesn't look like just regular demolition right there. Oh yeah, if you get closer you can smell it. This doesn't look like it was that recent either. It's all secured and everything, but you can still smell the char on that bad boy. Dang! I like how even the most bland office building in Solvang is Danish themed. Look at that little spire right there in the middle where people take their smoke breaks probably. I know very little about actual Denmark other than what I've learned from coming to Solvang over the years. One of these days maybe I'll get to Denmark. Maybe I'll buy some Lego over there. Dude, that is such a bummer. History lost right there. Hopefully it gets rebuilt. Bigger and better and even more gloriously Solvang looking than before. We mostly decided to roam around Solvang just to have a morning walk. Hallie wanted to get some meatballs, maybe some Able-Skeever. For the number of times that I've been here and we've been here together, there's still a lot of stuff I haven't done. I have not gone in the Viking Museum ever. Never seen a show or a concert at the Solvang Festival Theater, which looks like a hoot and a holler. I've never taken a trolley ride through Solvang. Oh, you can see a picture of the inside of the theater right there. Oh, you can see a picture of the inside of the theater right there. We got this little beer garden type thing outside with a little miniature village back there. Pretty cool looking. I love that even the side streets are full of these quirky, weird, strange buildings. There's like a Solvang Nails and Spa over here in the center. Just look at the architecture of that. It's so cool. I know people from like Europe or York or somewhere are going, big deal, 1950s fake European buildings, but to us this is very cool. It may be Danish themed, but there's something very, very American about this. Like I always say, Fantasyland. I love how there's all these little birdhouse looking speakers all throughout the town. I think they're speakers. Another epic windmill here. Allie found the ramen shop. She's probably regretting her meatballs already. Wouldn't be Danish without Hamlet Square, of course. The big windmill here is the Solvang Trolley Ice Cream Parlor. They got some more fancy glass artwork and some gift shops here. They're all getting ready for Valentine's Day. Everybody's putting hearts in the windows and decorating with pink. Solvang is probably super busy on Valentine's Day. Then right across the street here, we got the King Frederick Inn. That's where we stayed last time we stayed in town. Oh, I almost forgot about Pebble People. They had the world's largest Kit Kat clock in here a while back. Look at that. They've got tons of cuckoo clocks and stuff. They are not into photos and videos in the store. But look at that. The Solvang Pebble People. There you get an idea right there of the cuckoo clocks on the wall. We could only get that shot from the public sidewalk. There are signs inside. You can take video if you pay a fee of $1,600. The cuckoo clocks are cool, but not in my budget. Not in my budget to film. There's a little as seen on TV store down here at the end. More beautiful side streets with wine tasting shops, and then look at this courtyard back here, and Mortensen's Danish bakery. Gorgeous little buildings. Some more wine bars down here at Otterdog Square. You got the Otterdog Inn with some information about King Otterdog.
Hey, there's some otter dogs right there. You're the man now, dog.
Then coming out the other side, you can see more windmills up and down the main highway through Solvang. California Highway 246. Very close to, in fact, just off of US 101, just a few minutes away. Solvang is so weird. Like, if you grew up in Southern California, it is famous kind of as a wine tasting retreat. A famous spot for sort of Valentine's weekend getaways, romantic getaways. Allie and I always feel very romantic whenever we escape to Solvang. I feel like outside of California, Central and Southern California, it is much less well known. You know what I mean? You kind of have to be going from LA to San Francisco via the coast and then know where to turn inland to see all this stuff. It's like its own little hidden world out here. Very unusual, like frozen in time a little bit in sort of mid-century tourist town fashion, but then also kind of stuck as this bougie piece of California coastal wine country. There are some new things in town. There's escape rooms. There's this Final Girl wine and horror shop right here. Very horror themed in there, and the nice man with the Australian accent inside, or maybe Kiwi accent. I can't always tell the difference. Told us it's now the #1 tasting room in Solvang.
Number 5 in America.
Yeah, that's what he said. But look at this. This is what I was most interested in when we rolled into town last night. Look at this. Right at the intersection of sort of the main drag and the highway. I have no idea what they're doing here other than they're building some kind of little miniature Danish village. So they're adding another windmill to town, and you could never have too many. I mean, come on. Look at this. There's a little miniature church with stained glass going on. Little thatched roof village buildings. Look at this. See, in my expert opinion, this is exactly what Solvang needs more of. They used to lean hard into sort of the kind of corny, cheesy tourist stuff, which is why you see tour buses like this coming through town. And then it was like once the California wine country thing got super popular up in Napa and down to Mecca and up here on the Central Coast, it's like they leaned way more into the super bougie side of things, and I don't know what's going to be in here. For all I know, it's going to be more fine art and more miniature wine tasting rooms, but I feel like the cute kind of Hobbit scale nature of all this, kind of fun and kitschy, a little touristy, but also like very authentic looking. I've never been to Denmark, but to my untrained non-Danish eye, it looks pretty good, right? I feel like this is exactly what you need more of. Little shops, little places, little museums, more things to take fun pics in front of. This is gonna be great, whatever it is. I cannot wait to see it. Anyway, we decided to save the visit to the Viking Museum for our next trip out here. Like I said, it's not like we came out here on a purposeful Solvang only trip. We were out here for some personal business. Another shot of the little village and the little village buildings going up. By the way, look at the doors on some of these. Look like actual artifacts right there. Maybe the small scale is just accurate to actual old world medieval villages or something like that. These are amazing. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yes. So we're gonna roll out of Solvang now, but our adventure is just beginning because there's someplace very close by we haven't been to for years. And we would be remiss being in this part of California without making a stop at the second greatest tourist attraction in the area, the world famous Ostrichland. I don't know why this place isn't more famous. It's seriously located, I don't know, like a 5-minute drive or something like that, right out of Solvang. Look at that, Dino Land USA may be gone, but we've still got Ostrichland USA. It's just like Disneyland, only better, because it has ostriches. Also emus. Apparently, Ostrichland has been open since the 1990s, although I never heard of it or came here until 2018 when I came with Allie on a very sunny day where she got sunburned for literally like a year. You had that tan line. It's nice to be back on a hazy gray day where we're not going to get burnt up. Although you never know, there's still a possibility we could get pecked. All right, we just entered through the gift shop and picked up our ostrich feeding utensils. We skipped over the ostrich wing fun pick for now because we are just too eager and excited. Look at that sign right there, see? It says, yes, we like to peck. We're about to be pecked, Allie. Pecked! Nothing I love more than feeding an ostrich on a Monday morning. Dude, look at those freaky, primordial birds. Freaking dinosaurs. Uh-oh. Ah, he was sneaking up on me. Would you like to peck? Hey! That peck caught me off guard. Now he's going in for the feeding of the ostrich. I just want to pet the ostrich's neck, but this one's wily. He's wary. You don't want to make friends? All you want is my food? You don't want love and attention? I bring you love and peace. He brings us love and peace. Break his legs. Dude, look at these things. Look at the way. Look at how crafty they are. Sort of sneaky. You want a peck? A little peckaroo. That was hissing. Why are you hissing at me? You want to peck? You want... Oh, you can't take the whole bowl, sir. Hey. It's smart. It knows it can grab the whole bowl if you're not wary. Okay, down here. How about down here? Take a little peckaroo. Take a little snack. Don't be greedy. Dude, look at freaking Ostrichland. You got all these ostriches coming up against the fence. The ostriches that would like a little peckaroo. Get a little peck there. All right. Then you look out in the field beyond the fence, and there are so many ostriches down there. And some squirrels down here. You're getting in the way of the squirrels. Look at them. Just sitting there. Waiting for someone to throw them a bone. Or some alfalfa pellets as the case may be. What you want to peck? Are you coming for a little peckaroo? Peckety peck. Don't be greedy. Are you scared?
Not as scared as I was before. The first time.
You can pet them if they tolerate it and enjoy it. These ostriches look like they've had enough. Why are you hissing? So angry. Whoa! What are you, an emu in disguise? Oh, I did it. I petted one. Oh.
It hates you.
This one, what?
It hates you.
This one, the hissing one?
Yeah.
I think it just hates the other ostriches. Whoa, you can't take the whole bowl. Look at that. They're getting more alfalfa on the ground than they are in their weird, long, hissy necks. Just let me get a little friendship. All right, these ostriches are getting a little aggressive over here. But there's more than just ostriches to feed. See this? They also have emus. Normally, I think of emus as being far less... Look at this sleepy guy right here. You want a little food, sleepy guy? You full? You're full. Normally I think of the emus as being far more evil, and ostriches are more friendly. Go to Rooster Cogburn's ostrich ranch. Those ostriches love being pet. Last time we were here at Ostrichland, up near Solvang, they also enjoyed a pet or two. Not this time. They're being antisocial, so I'm going to come over here and feed the evil-looking emus. Hello, Limu Emu. Dude, look how gnarly. It's the red eyes for me. Hello. Look at these Skeksis-looking things. Whoa. What'd you just say? You said, oh, you're gentle?
Yeah.
To the emu?
Yeah.
Look at those. Yeah, they peck less hard. And famously, emus. Is it emu or emus for the plural? Do you know? Excuse me, ma'am. Are you aware what you're called? Emus kick. They can kick with those feet really hard and really injure you.
Do the emus have large talons?
Dude, they have really expanded Ostrichland. Look how far down it goes. Good thing I didn't waste all my food. Those are probably the friendly ostrich down there. Allie just said these ones are probably hungrier, and she is right. Look at them. Look how eager they are. Hello, you like this? Is this what you want? I can't tease them. Now I have to feed them. Oh my goodness. It's a feeding frenzy. Oh my gosh, I've never pet an emu before. They're always so mean, but this time they're being friendlier than the ostrich. Hello. You hear those weird noises like poop, 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 poop. Those are the emu making those noises. I want that noise. You hear that? Freaky. I bet that's what dinosaurs sounded like. Hello, little dinosaur. Oh, they're actually much softer than I thought they were going to be. I never knew what a Skeksis felt like before. Well, hello there, you beauty. Showing your plumage. I can't give you the bull through the fence. You got to come down to the little hole down here. Come on. Just me and my ostrich friends having a little trip to the hole. Ladies, calm down. Calm down, ladies. You get a little peck. You want a little peck there? Whoa! Hello, hello! This is the original one. There you go. There you go. I'm sorry, you had some. You had some. All right, all right, all right. Allie's out of food. You let those emu take advantage of you here. You can have my bowl right there. There you go. Ooh, finally, some facts I'm going to learn. Adult ostriches stand 8 to 9 feet tall and weigh 250 to 350 pounds. They can reach speeds of up to 45 miles per hour. The oldest ostrich on record is 81. The only bird with only 2 toes. And the rooster ostrich sits on the eggs at night. You do the night shift there? I don't know which one. Whoa, whoa, watch your head. Whoa! That ostrich was kicked by that other ostrich. These ones are much bigger. Or maybe we're just standing. Whoa! More face to face. Dude, some of these ostriches look very, whoa! They're like velociraptors. They're testing the fences. They look disgruntled. They don't look gruntled. Oh, look at this. You could be riding high over here. Fun pick opportunity. Oh, I've got to do this. What a fun one! Well, I'm being pecked from behind. Those ostriches can reach through those bars pretty far. I just wouldn't want to be inside of that fence and get kicked. Because that looks so painful. When they kicked each other, it looked painful. You could feel it, the noise, boom. Look at them chasing each other. Back there. Run! Well, they're not going 80 miles an hour, I'll tell you that much. That was a slow motion ostrich chase back that way. Hello, I don't have any more food. But would you like to be on camera? Would you like to tell us what it's like to be a very strange dinosaur-looking animal? Oh, the way they can bend those necks is just insane. This place is definitely well named. It's exactly what it sounds like. Land for ostriches. They like you, Allie. They want to keep their eyes on you. Ostrich land. It definitely feels safer up on the platforms when your head is above their eye level. I don't have any food. Can we still be friends? Oh, Allie had food behind me. Yeah, just peck the food off the fence. It's so weird the way they can do that. Uh-oh, here comes another one. Here comes trouble. Oh, look at the way this one's running away. Are you the mean ostrich? I did not think it was possible, but they look even weirder when they're laying down. I'm sorry I said that. Forgive me! Allie got close to the fence. And they're all just rattling their beaks along it like prisoners. Okay, lift it up. Let them have a little peck. Ah! That is so Jurassic Park looking and scary when they pop up like that. Something so weird about this. It's not right. How long you been in for? How long? How long? Oh my gosh, those sly birds. Look at that. There's an egg right there. What kind of egg you think it is? I think it's a plastic egg because they keep kicking it. So maybe it's like one of those decoy eggs that you put to encourage them to lay eggs. You know how they have those fake eggs to put in your chicken coop? Oh my gosh. You're not tall enough for that, Al. Allie's grandpa always talks about putting golf balls or ping pong balls into the chicken house and then they'll lay more eggs. All right, I think we've had enough ostrich time. I think we've been startled and frightened by ostriches aplenty out here. Whoa. We'll move on to one last stop and then start heading home. Just one last look at the majestic ostrich. Ooh. That is a big loud noise. I can't tell which animal that's coming from. There's emu, there's ostrich. But look at this. Look at all the bowls that the ostriches have snatched from people's clutches. All right, farewell, ostrich land. For another 8 years, maybe. You never know. Cost, we think $8 per bowl. We weren't really paying attention. We were distracted by how eager we were to come and see these emu and ostrich. But for $8 a pop, not a bad stop. You like that rhyme? She didn't like that rhyme. I love this. This is what plusses up ostrich land for me, is all the weird hand-painted signs. By the way, there's a cat. The ostrich land cat. Hi, kitty. Well, the cat's letting me pet it. Oh, stretch. This is the most beautiful art of all the art. Allie made a new friend over there in front of the art. I'm just over here admiring the bunnies. Please do not touch or feed the bunnies, though. The bunnies are just for looking. We're headed back to the parking lot and then down the highway here towards US 101 and Buellton. After, of course, admiring the celebrity-signed ostrich eggs in the gift shop. And from Ostrichland to the Buellton city limit was literally like 20 seconds. It's right on the edge of town. A town that was most famous for decades and decades. The original location of a certain very strange restaurant. And this is it right here. The original location of Andersen's Pea Soup. There is still a location off of the 5 freeway in Santa Nella, California. That was not the original location. That one is still open. But the original here in Buellton, the one that opened up along the highway El Camino Real in the 1920s and just shut down in the 2020s, has closed after nearly 100 years in operation. And luckily, the original building here is still standing. Or I shouldn't say the original building, because obviously it was expanded greatly over the years, especially once US Highway 101 came cruising by just a stone's throw away. Apparently the original location here in Buellton was not profitable enough to keep open. It was a California institution. When they built US Highway 101, there were all kinds of billboards along the highway, so many miles to Pea Soup Andersen. You got the famous characters here. This guy's usually holding the big hammer, and this guy's usually holding the little wedge, so he can split a pea on the table. But it looks like they're getting along now, having a little glass of the bubbly. Look at this classic 20th century roadside Americana, now closed and shuttered for good. They built a big windmill on this place to capitalize on the sort of adjacent Solvang history during the heyday of American highway traffic. I could be wrong about this, but I believe that the original restaurant building is this here, sitting out in the front along the old El Camino Real. And look at that old, very quaint, very modest original sign there, old sign. There are fences all over the driveways, but the sidewalk was open to walk into the old parking lot, so I hope I'm okay right here for a minute. Yeah, look at that, Andersen's. Splitting peas since 1924. A California roadside institution. An empire built on split pea soup. Now shuttered and closed. Ah, look at the round sign up there. You see the big guy with his hammer, but the little guy with the little wedge splitting the pea, he's gone. He still survives down here though on this mural. Look at that. Splitting peas since 1924. I believe they closed in 2023 or 2024. Yeah, unless I'm remembering it completely wrong, this little building out in the front was the original restaurant, and you can see it had a much different architectural style, much more of a throwback to the old sort of San Francisco Victorian architecture, and very, very 1920s looking. I love this little pickup window right here. Here's that sign I was talking about right along El Camino Real, because Old Mission Santa Ynez and La Purisma Mission in Lompoc, just down the road, they're connected by that highway. So it's the old Spanish El Camino Real, the King's Highway connecting the two. This is crazy. So the most I've heard is that they're selling off the property for redevelopment, which I assume means from the state of this place that they're going to tear down this old building, which looks like it needed a lot of maintenance. It's only been closed for 2 years and it's already looking a little rough around the edges, you know what I mean? I don't think you get that kind of damage in just 2 years. There are moving trucks out front, and so I think they're still moving some of the furnishings out of the building, because there's guys going in and out of the property. The interesting thing is they sold off the original restaurant location, but next door they still have Andersen's Pea Soup Inn, not only standing but in operation. So okay, let's look at the original restaurant building, or what I think is the original restaurant building. Here is the old Pea Soup Andersen's sign. Glorious. And apparently they split off the Pea Soup Inn under separate ownership, because as we walk away from the big restaurant through the old abandoned parking lot here, check it out. The Pea Soup Andersen's Inn is still going strong. That's pretty good ratings, as a matter of fact. And just for the heck of it, we almost booked a room at the Pea Soup Inn, which on the sign out front says, "Have a cozy getaway at PSA, Pea Soup Andersen's." So yeah, the Andersen's name will live on in Buellton, but only at this old roadside motel built back in the heyday of highway traffic to capitalize on how insanely popular the Andersen's restaurant is, which, by the way, look at the size of that. You can see the old original building here, but look back there. Look at how crazy and convoluted and wild that architecture is back there. Got layers and layers of hand-painted signs, and then There's like outbuildings and buildings that look like houses over here. Maybe the Andersen family or staff lived back here at one point. Who knows? There's storage sheds, all themed to that same kind of weird Danish architecture that dots the landscape up here in and around Solvang. Look at these ornate lampposts in the parking lot. I'd love to get my hands on one of those. You can see exactly what I mean here. Look at the ivy growing all over everything. Already growing wildly out of control. I can't even imagine like being so stoked on pea soup that you stay at the Pea Soup Inn and you walk over to Andersen's restaurant, you're all stoked about it. Look, honey, finally, some decent split pea soup. They've got some big windows sticking out of the old restaurant up there. This is wild looking considering that it was open only a couple of short years ago. Look at that. Famous since 1924 up on the roof of the original building. Absolutely insane. Look how old that tree is there. Look how thick that trunk is. Nothing better than a thick trunk. Oh, there's some old wooden benches in here that almost look like pews. Some hand-painted signs. A Shakespeare quote carved on one of those. Not sure if it was carved on the benches or... Yeah, it's the back of the benches. So they're not signs. I wonder if they'll auction off some of the contents. They're moving stuff out. I don't know if they're moving it to the Santinella location or maybe the contents of the restaurant, the equipment and the fixtures were all sold to somebody, but yeah, it is all closing down now. These are the latter days, the final days of the original Buellton location of Pea Soup Andersen's, which is how the billboards always said it, Pea Soup Andersen's. Although some people call it Andersen's Pea Soup. Tomato, tomato. I do not enter abandoned buildings. A lot of old chairs in there, so clearly they've got storage going back years and years. Yeah, I don't enter abandoned buildings, but I did notice a shortcut through here back to where I parked the car, where Allie is waiting. She didn't really feel like traipsing through the abandoned parking lot. Oh, look at those doors. Just amazing. All kind of, I think it was family owned for years and years and years, and all just sort of handmade a lot of this stuff because you could just see the hand-painted and wooden carved things, the hand-painted windows. It's just such a labor of love, such a creative, interesting place. And all based on such an interesting premise, right? Pea soup. Insane that simple idea for a restaurant could turn in to all of this. And the inn next door. Just amazing to me that it stayed open until 2024. I guess Gen Z ain't into the pea. I don't know what this truck is doing right here. That truck wasn't here earlier. There's that big moving truck up at the front. I did see people going in and out of the property, although I didn't see them loading anything into the truck, so maybe that moving truck is just parked here for a rest. Lots of other cute businesses here. You got Mother Hubbard's restaurant across the street. There's some thrift stores in town. Look at this old ashtray. Very 1970s looking. Another old roadside motel just behind Andersen's. Old neon sign there. I believe they are going to tear this place down, which is a shame. Maybe it's just too dilapidated, too old to restore or bring up to code. I don't know. There might be specifics that the public is not generally aware of, but it just seems to me, rather than closing it down, it would have been cool to give it a rebrand. People don't like split pea soup anymore. Come up with another food. Burgers. Everyone loves burgers. Tacos. Is there such a thing as Danish tacos? Could have gone for that. Anyway, this wasn't really on our agenda or anything. We just drove by it last night and I went, you know, while that building is still standing there, I should probably film it. I've driven past this building numerous times throughout my life. Never stopped and went inside the original. Never had pea soup at the original. I guess I was part of the problem there. My family never stopped at restaurants like that when we were traveling around. We mostly traveled like I do now with our own food and coolers and stuff like that. We were lucky if we got McDonald's, much less fancy pea soup. But I do appreciate its architectural and historical highway significance. And since it's going to be a thing of the past and gone forever very soon, I thought we'd stop and take a look. Country Lane Motel, by the way, still open. So, come and stay here and look at the wreck that once was Andersen's Pea Soup. Let's see if we can find a different open thrift shop or vintage shop for Allie over here, an antique store. Thank you for unlocking the door. I would like to enter my car. And then we'll have to make our way home. Oh, look how beautiful you are. You're cute. All right, I think this place closes in 10 minutes, so it'll be a fast stop. But look at this cute little thrift shop. Awesome. This looks very much like the buildings used to look in Solvang before they made them all Danish looking. Pretty cool. For some reason, no matter where we go, Allie finds and buys silver trays. I don't even know if they're real silver. They're probably fake. There's like the weirdest conquistador painting up here. I can only get little glimpses of it between the lamps, so it looks so cool and strange. I wish I had more wall space. Also some creepy haunted looking Solvang dolls. It was a cute little place, and the building was definitely an old house, that's for sure. You can see they've packed up most of their wares. They were closing up as we walked in. Allie's buying her little cute trays. And I'm just admiring the slug bug out here. I always wanted to own a VW bug. We were visiting a friend of mine yesterday who's got one. Drives it all around. Lompoc. I always thought I'd get one because they were so cheap, and there used to be one in everybody's driveway in various stages of repair. But after Cash for Clunkers, you never see those anymore. You never see Aerostars either. You ever notice that? Huh? Slugbug is a lot harder to play these days. How cool is that? Wimpy, wienery, and fun. You know? All right, that's gonna do it for us today. We gotta go back home. Start getting back into the groove. I gotta go to the dentist because I cracked that tooth on that last road trip. And then we'll be back to something like normal. Maybe I'll tell you what we were doing up here in the next video. It was something kind of special, but very personal. I wanted to keep it a secret, but we'll see what Allie thinks. By the way, now that I got home, I grabbed myself a bottle of Random Land hot sauce and poured it all over my food last night. Confirmed the best hot sauce ever. We are now shipping that back out. We're now shipping out signed books again. I signed about 60 of them before we headed out on this road trip, so you can check all that out at randomland.com or join our Patreon if you want to get me back out on the road. You got your trays?
Yes.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Then you've done your duty. Time for us all to go home and sleep well.
See you next time. Just me and my ostrich friends having a little trip to the hole.